Most people believe happiness is something you earn. You get the money, then you'll be happy. You find the relationship, then you'll be happy. You build the business, then you'll be happy. You finally become the person you want to be, then you'll be happy. But if that were true, why is it that so many successful people, people in relationships, people who have the business they want are still unhappy? Why do some people have everything yet still suffer? And then why do some people go through hell but somehow still find peace? The answer is actually one of the biggest lies we've ever been taught. Because happiness isn't created by your circumstances, it's created by the meaning you give to your circumstances. Circumstances don't matter, state of being matters. Two people could go through the same event and walk away with completely different emotional experiences. One person might see failure, the other person might see opportunity. One sees rejection, the other sees redirection. One sees proof that life is against them, and the other sees proof that life is just shaping them. It's the same event, but they're doing something differently that's causing them to have a different emotional response, which then creates a different reality for them moving forwards. And today, I want to completely destroy the myths we've been taught around happiness and our emotional well-being, because what I'm about to share with you today absolutely changed my life. And as a transformational coach who helps entrepreneurs and high achievers accomplish their next level goals and their dreams, this has also had drastic changes on my clients' lives as well. And by the end of the training today, if you truly grasp what I'm about to share with you, you're going to walk away with this feeling so much more powerful, so much more capable, and perhaps bring some more light into your life if you have been in a dark place for a while. And here's a little hint. This is not about changing your life so you'll be happy. It's about changing the way you see your life to become happy. Now, before we really dive in, if you like this training today, if this does help you out, make sure you like and subscribe. Let's dive right into it. So the first thing I want to go through today is sharing the myths around happiness. First myth is that happiness comes from circumstances. People believe that more money, more relationships, better body, whatever it may be, will make them happier. Yet we all know somebody who's rich and still miserable, who's in amazing shape but depressed, who has a family but is still unhappy. So this shows that circumstances are not the determining factor if you're happy or not. It's only part of the equation. The second myth is that happy people have better lives. They didn't go through trauma or whatever it may be, but that's not true. There are people who have gone through terrible trauma and events in their past, yet they're some of the happiest people today, and they've literally written books around it. And one thing you'll realize when you read those books is one thing they do is that they don't look at the world and the situation as a victim of why is this happening to me. Instead, they look at it as, what is this teaching me? What is this shaping me to become? Now, myth number 3 is that depression is always a chemical problem. Now, many people are told that their emotional experience is completely out of their control. To me, that's one of the most depressing things to think about, to be completely powerless. But new studies are now showing that depression isn't necessarily a chemical imbalance. And in fact, exercise and movement is more powerful than antidepressants. And myth number 4, the last one I'll share, is that you need positive circumstances to feel positive emotions. But here's the thing. Some of the most poorest people are the most grateful. Some people on their deathbeds are still experiencing joy. Some people going through grief also experience peace. Emotion is not a direct response to circumstances. So now that we got the myths out of the way, let's talk about what happiness actually is. I would say when it comes to happiness, the goal isn't to always be in the happiest state possible. I think that's almost impossible. Life is always going to have its ups and down challenges. The goal is, how do you find a way to be at peace through the ups and the downs? It's not always trying to make your life a high and 100% up, 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 up. It's about how do you master the ups and the downs? How do you get into that flow of the natural way of life? When I look at some of the most depressed and unhappiest people and the clients that I've worked with in the past, when it comes to moving through their mind baggage to become more successful, a few things that stand out that I realize in these people is, number 1, they feel very powerless. Some of the most unhappiest people feel completely powerless to their situation. They truly are bought in and believe that they're stuck and they cannot change, and there's nothing within themselves that can get them out of their problems. The problem with that is that when you take your problems and you put it outside of you and you blame it on something else other than you become powerless to it. You become stuck. The second thing I see is their views. Not specifically views, but their focus, what they're constantly focused on. You know, imagine if you had so much beauty around you, but it was completely blocked out of your vision. So all you saw was the negatives and the bad things in the world. Over time, the more and more that you see that, that will probably affect you quite a bit. So how do you become the happiest person that you know? Well, the first thing is knowing what creates your emotional baseline, your overall emotional well-being. And this is where the power of identity comes into play. Your identity determines your overall emotional well-being. The reason why is because identity is created through consistent thought and emotion held over time. Identity is who you believe you are. And whoever you believe you are determines how you take action, what you focus on in life, your perspective, behaviors, etc. And again, identity is who you believe you are. So the happiest people in the world are not the ones with all the materialistic results or who haven't gone through trauma. It's the ones with the most expanded belief systems. And when I say expanded belief systems, what I mean by that is more so positive belief systems. Because your beliefs, think of your beliefs as literally the instruction manual for your brain to follow in reality. Whatever you believe to be true, and that could be around anything, your brain then takes that and will follow through on that. Your brain isn't trying to find the absolute truth of life. It's not trying to make you successful. Your brain's just trying to reconfirm a belief system in real time. It's literally a prediction machine. So somebody who would be unhappy probably has very disempowering belief systems. Like there's not enough in the world. The world's a bad place. People are evil. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve success. Because here's the thing about emotions. Emotions are never random. We often think, and I thought for a long time that emotions were just random and it was out of my control and it was up and down and all over. It's not true at all. You cannot experience an emotion randomly. What has to happen is that you must have an interpretation of an event that's happening or whatever's going on, and then you experience an emotion. So let's say you have an event that happens, or even a thought that you're having that you buy into because your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. So it's just experiencing all here right now. So you have a thought, you have an event that's going on. Then what happens is that really quickly you have an interpretation of that event, of that thought, whatever it may be, and then you experience an emotion. Now, how do you interpret things? Well, what determines how you interpret things comes from your belief systems. Whatever you believe to be true influences the meaning, the story that you give to the situations happening to your life. So you could be going through the worst thing in your life, but if you have powerful, positive belief systems, you will have a better perspective on that thing. You will turn that pain into your power. And that's the most happiest people I know. That's what they do, is they have the proper belief systems that allow them to go through the worst experience ever and make it a positive that allows them to move forwards in life no matter what happens to them. And when you can adopt those belief systems, you get so much of your personal power back. You no longer feel like a victim to this world. And the more powerful and authentic you become, because I truly believe that your most powerful, positive self is your most authentic self. The more you become that way, the happier you overall get. So that's the key right there. If you want to become happier in your life, you want to become the happiest person you know, is that you need to change your belief systems. Remember that your belief systems are not rooted in truth. Your belief systems are simply just beliefs and they can change. So then the question becomes, why would you hold on to a negative belief system? The reason why you might think you want to hold on to that negative belief system is because you might say, well, this is all I experience. This is all I see. This is my reality. And it is because that is how your brain works. You have this thing called your RAS, your reticular activating system, that filters out 99.999% of reality, and it's hyper focused on your belief systems. So if you have negative belief systems about yourself or the world, that's all you're going to see and experience. It doesn't mean it's the full truth, but it's your personal truth that you're experiencing in your own personal reality because of your core belief systems. You're not a victim to your life. You're not stuck in your life. You can change, but it starts by having an honest conversation, an honest reflection of your core belief systems. Now, the reason why most people don't change, though, and they stay stuck, and it actually looks like they want to stay unhappy, is because the ego. Ego is protector of identity. Again, identity is who you believe you are. It determines the level of satisfaction you have in your life, your overall emotional well-being. Your ego protects that identity. It's not good or bad, right? Because if you have a positive identity, a powerful identity, that's good, then your ego will protect that. But if you have a negative, disempowering, depressed identity, your ego will also protect it. And that's where people get stuck because they're trying to change their lives. They're working so hard changing their lives, but they're dealing with their old baggage and the ego, and they don't know how exactly the mind works. So they buy into it every single time. The ego will whisper thoughts into your mind of like, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. It never works out for me. And then what happens is that we take that thought, which is just a thought, it's meaningless, but we personalize it. We identify with that thought and we go back into the cycle of struggling and suffering. So once we can truly understand how the mind works, how we function in reality, we can start to actually transform ourselves. Because once you transform your belief systems, what you believe to be true about yourself and the world, once you transform those belief systems, you know what it changes? It changes everything. It changes your focus. It changes your perspective. It changes the stories you make about life, about the meaning that you give to the situation. It changes how you show up and take action, your behaviors, the decisions that you make. It changes the consistent thoughts that you have on a daily basis, changes your overall emotional state of being, which is literally going to change your entire life if you stay consistent, trust the process, and keep moving forwards. And that's why I'm so passionate about this work that I do, because I truly believe that once you understand how your mind works, how the belief systems work, you can change your entire life moving forward. So the biggest thing I want you to get out of today's training, if you watched it this far, is that when it comes to happiness, the biggest thing you should know is that you have so much power. You absolutely can transform your life. And one of the fastest way to do so is to start changing the belief systems that you have that are running the entire show. And if you want to learn exactly how to do that, make sure that you like and subscribe for more, because this is exactly what I break down. But if you do need some more hands-on help, if you're a high achiever, if you're someone with a dream, a business owner, and you want to reach that next level, but you're being stopped right now by your own self, your own identity, apply below for Beyond Identity Collective. Again, guys, make sure you subscribe for more. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you like this. Let me know in the comments what hit home the most. I'll see you on the next training.